Manchester United have just confirmed the arrival of Bologna striker Joshua Zirkzee to Old Trafford, and in this video I'm gonna show you exactly why I think that he would be an amazing sign-in for us next season. Without any further ado, let's analyze. Alright, so let's get started with a quick overview of Joshua Zirkzee. So obviously he plays for Bologna, 23 years old, the center forward. Here, let's have a look at his heat map, because I would describe him actually as a false nine. And by looking at his heat map, we actually see why. So he's a player who doesn't actually spend a lot of time inside the box. At least he doesn't touch the ball a lot inside the box. He does fairly, but most of his touches are actually in and around the box. In fact, he's actually quite similar to Roberto Firmino. And I'm sorry, guys, for using, a player from a rival, but I think that Firmino, as you can see here from the heat map, they are quite similar in terms of the role that they play. Maybe not in terms of the aesthetics of how they play, but in terms of the role that they perform for their teams. His strengths, two-footed. He scored 11 goals in Serie A this season, 6 of them with his left foot, and he's right-footed, and 5 of them with his right foot. So he's very two-footed. Balance. This guy, you can't knock him off the ball. This is what makes him such an effective dribbler. Technique. This guy, man, this guy's technique is amazing. He's filled with finesse. In fact, sometimes he reminds me of Ronaldinho. And then link-up play. He's a very good player. He likes to actually link up with his teammates. Actually, a lot of players, including Højlund, Rashford, and Bruno at Manchester United, will actually enjoy playing with him, especially Bruno. Bruno, he likes to create for players who are ahead of him, but he also likes to make runs beyond the striker, in behind the opposition defensive line. And I think playing alongside someone like Zirkzee will allow him to do more of that. I think we may witness a high-scoring season from Bruno in 2024-2025. His weaknesses, aerial presence. For someone who is 193 centimeters tall, he doesn't seem to win a lot of duels. I think he's at 35% win rate in aerial duels right now. Maybe it's because of Bologna's style of play. I don't know, but maybe this is an area of improvement for Zirkzee. Hamstrings. Now, this is a key weakness here, and we have to talk about it. If we look at his injury risk assessment, actually there isn't much to worry about for most of his career. But this season he had 2 hamstring injuries. One in March and then one in May, resulting in 7 games in total for Bologna, and Højlund missed. But this is what I have to say about hamstring injury. This is why I did not want Michael Olise at Manchester United, is because they are notorious for having a high rate of recurrence. They snowball. That means the moment you have one hamstring injury, the chances that you're going to have the next one are higher, and then they keep on multiplying exponentially as you have these hamstring injuries. In fact, players like Ousmane Dembele and Gareth Bale can testify to that. The good news though is that hamstring injuries usually affect players who rely a lot on pace. Zirkzee doesn't rely on pace. He is fast, but he relies more on his technique and his balance than his pace. So I hope that INEOS have done their due diligence. Is it a big enough issue that I would say, okay, let's cut it off? No, not at all. I still would like Zirkzee at Manchester United, but it's something that we need to keep an eye on and be mindful of. Okay. Anyway, now let's move on to the tactical analysis, to the video analysis segment. Now, if I get back a little bit, okay, so Zirkzee here, as you can see, this was against AS Roma. He likes to position himself outside of the box, 1-2, and then look, he's just like walking nonchalantly and then makes a run that just takes out all of these defenders. None of them were able to track his run, and then he gets the ball. Beautiful oriented control. He likes to do that. That's one of his signature moves. And then finish with his left foot. Goal for Bologna against AS Roma. Here, same thing again against Lazio. He receives the ball. No look pass. He knows exactly where his teammate is going to be. Through ball towards his teammate. He knows where the ball is going to land later. And then Captain Tsubasa style finish right into the net. Beautiful. Next, this is again against Lazio. Again, he loves to position himself in these pockets of space. Very intelligent player, controls the ball. And then what I like about that is that he knows exactly what he's going to do next. And that's great because his decision making is spot on, but also fast. So he doesn't leave much room for reaction for the oppositions towards Lewis Ferguson. Both him and Lewis Ferguson has built like a very good partnership. And Lewis Ferguson is actually quite similar to Bruno Fernandes in the sense that he likes to make those runs in beyond the opposition defensive line. This is why I think that Zirkzee and Bruno could actually work really well at Manchester United. Here we're going to have another example. This was against Juve. Here, Zirkzee is going to show his physicality against Bremer, a player that many Manchester United fans wanted at Manchester United this summer, but I'm not a big fan of Bremer. I don't think that he's the right guy for us. The ball comes in towards him. Look, he just holds him off, uses his strength. But then the difference between someone like Zirkzee and someone like Weghorst, for example, is that Zirkzee has very good technique. He can control the ball very well, and then beautiful through ball towards Lewis Ferguson, and then beautiful goal. Next season, this could be Zirkzee and Bruno Fernandes. Beautiful, beautiful play. Now here again, another example of his intelligence as a player, his ability to anticipate situations. He knows that there is a high possibility that a mistake is going to be made, and then the mistake is made, and he's best prepared to pounce on the chance and then round the keeper, one of his other signature moves, and then a finish into the empty net with his left foot. So classy. Speaking of class, this is one of my favorite 2-second bit that features Zirkzee. Look at this. This was against AC Milan. I think this was a Serbi. Beautiful nutmeg. Look at that. This is the finesse I'm talking about. So easy, so simple. This, to me, looks like Ronaldinho. I don't know if it's the hair. I don't know if it's the white boots. I don't know if it's the nutmeg. This is beautiful. And then, of course, runs with the ball. This is something that you expect from a number 10, not a number 9. And then beautiful pass into the space towards Ngoy. And then Ngoy, of course, beautiful finish, chipped finish. They literally destroyed Inter Milan, who are really the best team in Serie A in this game. This was in the Coppa Italia. And then now, this is another example of Zirkzee where he decides to use his physicality rather than his finesse. For example, here you can see an example of his balance. Did you see how he swatted the opposition player away? And then, you know, he can keep the ball. It's very hard to get the ball out of him. And then shot. And then this resulted in a corner. And then immediately from that corner, the ball comes in, and then beautiful volley right into the top corner. Zirkzee, he is inevitable. And then here, another aspect of Zirkzee that I love is his composure. This is very important. This is something that I think Højlund is lacking. Of course, he's 20. He's definitely going to develop that as he grows, but it's something that Zirkzee already has. Many players would have just taken a shot with their left foot here. Not Zirkzee. What he does, oppa, beautiful feint, positions himself in a way that he opens up an angle that is favorable to him on his stronger right foot. Beautiful finish. Same thing here against Sassuolo. If you remember the bit I showed you against AS Roma, he loves to do these oriented controls. You see that it's just seamless, but it's so hard to do. This is great technique. And then into his path, and then again around the keeper. Beautiful finish with the left foot. And then here, this was against Inter Milan. Literally, he schooled the Inter Milan defense and the goalkeeper Sommer with this. Look, again, through ball. Same thing as I've shown you before against Torino. Controls the ball, gives himself some space, and then a feint with his left foot. And then now, he's just fixating the goalkeeper. And while maybe Sommer is expecting the ball to go to the far post, no, it's going to be placed. Just pass it to the near post. Beautiful. And Sommer is a world-class goalkeeper. I'm a huge fan of Sommer, but he's made to look like an academy goalkeeper in this sequence, okay? Now, I have to say this, and I'm not saying it out of vanity or, you know, trying to tell you, hey guys, I'm a modern-day Nostradamus, but 5 months ago, I talked about Zirkzee as a potential target for Manchester United. Back then, there was no noise about Zirkzee, but I'll tell you how I actually came into discovering Zirkzee as a player, because it's very important to try to understand what Manchester United, what INEOS actually have done in the, you know, in the background, you know, before signing Zirkzee. So basically, I was aware of who he was as a player, mainly because of Football Manager, right? But if you asked me, okay, do you think he could be a good sign-in for Manchester United? I say, no, I don't think so, okay? I don't know much about him, okay? So 5 months ago, what I did is I took a huge database that includes all of the under 26 players, the under 26 strikers, sorry, playing in the top 5 leagues. Basically, I knew that Anthony Martial would not be here next season, so we definitely needed a striker, but also someone who could complement Højlund, someone who can drop deep, someone who can collect the ball, who has good dribbling ability, etc., etc., etc. Good link-up play, okay? And so I used Tableau, which is, you know, a famous software for data analysis and data visualization, using many metrics, you know, stats that are related to goal scoring ability, to creativity, you know, dribbling, etc., etc., you know, ability to press and win the ball high up the pitch. And 2 names kept, you know, blinking in green when I did that video. Those names are, of course, Dominic Solanke from Bournemouth, another very good player, extremely underrated, and Zirkzee from Bologna. And then when I saw that, of course, I did my due diligence and I researched him before making that video. And then from that point on, I showed a keen interest in Bologna. That's how I discovered Zirkzee, of course, as a player, as well as Calafiori, Lukumi, and Thiago Motta's tactics. And the reason why I'm excited about this, okay, is because the Manchester United hierarchy, they did exactly what I did, in the sense that they did not go for a shiny toy, because Zirkzee, let's face it, he's only scored 11 goals in Serie A. That's not exactly prolific, is it? But they did their due diligence by looking at the data. And they realized, okay, they probably crafted a short list of 4 or 5 young strikers around Europe that could be good fits for Manchester United, that fit the criteria. And Zirkzee was on that list. And then they said, okay, well, you know what? Let's go with this guy. And this is why I'm extremely confident with this Zirkzee signing. I mean, it's a bargain at the quoted price. And I also like the fact that INEOS did not just pay the release clause, they paid 2 million more in order to pay the deal over 3 years. This improves our cash flow, and it also will make it easier for us to get our other targets in other positions. So yeah, I mean, I did not talk much about data in this video, but you can go and check this video if you want to learn more about the data behind the brilliance of Zirkzee. But what a player. I am so excited to have him in Manchester United next season. Alright guys, so yeah, exciting times to be a Manchester United supporter. I think that Matthijs de Ligt could be the next player to walk through the doors at Old Trafford. That's all for me here. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about Joshua Zirkzee as a striker, and who would you like Manchester United to sign next? Until next time, cheers.